Okay, so we developed a novel drug for HIV, hepatitis C. Basically, it was a platform drug. It was new technology, drug discovery, and everything else. Won a Bill Gates grant in 2008 for global health. Got some venture capitalists into the company, big name scientists from Merck and other leading pharmaceutical companies. Sold the company to Johnson & Johnson in 2015 for $600 million.
Wow.
Passion! Passion!
So that the thing is, entrepreneurship.
Oh!
This guy.
Please,
this is shameful, Kemi. You can't say that.
I beg.
I came here and said, no wonder he laughed.
He didn't know that was I said, this is like, that kind of friends that you have. You'll be like, listen, have you eaten?
So let me tell you, I cook. I'm that friend.
No, please, I actually want to
But
hear.
the thing is, there's an in-between story, and the in-between story is consistent with what we're all here for, So a lot of people know about this story from, $600 million to Johnson & Johnson. That's where to them it started from. They don't know that in 2008, when the Bill Gates grant, when we won the Bill Gates grant, had VCs and everything, I moved back to Nigeria, And when the rest of my founders and management team went on to kind of like build the company. And when I came in here into Nigeria, I came in with, I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'd raised at that time about $26 million into the company in 2008. It was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, biotech deals in all of America, and one of the biggest VC deals at that time, So, first African guy to have raised that type of money. Let's not talk about Nigeria. So I came into Nigeria with, I got this. I can do everything, So I wanted to immediately start my own payments company. Then we had no POS machines. That's why everybody hears about ATM cards.
Yeah.
It's because all you could do was put it into an ATM machine. So I came in here, I was like, okay, I had this POS technology gateway, everything, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna, build out the first POS company, mobile money. We're gonna do everything right. Exactly. Then I hit Nigeria, and I thought to myself, okay, this thing is not exactly how I thought it was gonna be. Then I met Tony Subai of High TV at the time, and he was like, listen, come work with me for a bit. Nigeria is different from where you're coming from. Let's cut our teeth together and try and build out something. Give me 2-3 years of your time, then you can see how, I said, okay, that makes sense. Rather not use your own money to take the risk in a new, So we started working together on High TV. I was, head of international business and strategy, bidding for the football rights, trying to sell our channels abroad and everything, and trying to get other African broadcasters. Yeah. Try to get other African broadcasters to kind of like form a consortium to buy the football rights and stuff like that. So we did that, and we had a good run doing that. We obviously know how High TV ended up, but I had all this technology, and I was like, you know what, maybe it's time. So I was there for about 2 years, and I was like, okay, maybe it's actually time for me to go and, do this business, Like you, I sold my car, moved into my BQ on Lekki Beachside. I said, you know what, let the real hustle, begin. I think I must have ran through all my money in like a month and a half. Wow. Because you have what you think is going to happen. Yeah. Like, you think, if I have POS technology, who is going to refuse POS technology? Like, everybody will be rushing to get into this with you. You understand what I'm saying? That's when you realize that
people are slow.
You're ahead of your time.
I said it before.
People are slow.
Yeah, you're ahead of your time. People are not seeing it. All people want to do is to tell you the problems. I have people who call me now. They're like, I still saved your number. I was just calling to just tell you that now everywhere you go, people are saying mobile money. People are doing everything from their phone. In 2010, when you came to me and you said, this was going to happen, I was laughing at you. I said, people who use their phone to look at where we are now. You understand what I'm saying? But people never, understood that part of it. So obviously I started trying to do the payment business. That one it was slow. My money was rapidly depleting. So I said, okay, let me try and do something else that would make me money. You don't know your territory, you're relying on information from other people. I said, you know what, my mom had a coconut bread recipe. I was like, if I can bring that coconut bread recipe to Lagos, I can just run a small bakery, that'll be feeding me on the side while I'm still doing my, you understand what I'm saying? I said, okay, let me go to Lagos Island and go and find a place to rent a building. My driver at the time, who was my quote-unquote trusted advisor, was not like, but you know what, this thing, Oga, it go good if we do it for a cotton egg. I'm like, where is the cotton egg? You know, where is the cotton egg? You know, error. So I think, you know, and at this point I had not really exited High TV, so I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, we'll drive to Ikotu Egbe. I'll open the bakery in Ikotu Egbe. Ikotu Egbe is far, right?
It sounds far.
Very far. By the time I'm coming back, I'm entering one kind of traffic like that. I'll get to the office at 9 o'clock. I'll do my High TV work. I'll sleep. 3 a.m. in the morning, I'll wake up again.
What?
You know, I invested probably about maybe about 5 million naira or so in that bakery. I think I made 5,000 naira. I think I made 5,000.
Who was eating the bread?
And loads of
I heard of fat stuff.
Because people in the Ikotu, but they just want to buy their agege bread and call it
No,
a
the
day.
business model now had to change. So, you know, obviously you start to go through several iterations, like, man, this coconut bread cannot happen out of this place. Because you need
that particular investment.
research.
You had no passion for that business.
I had no passion. It was not what, you get what I'm saying? Because now this payments business is what has sustained me up until now.
Yeah.
Everything else. I had a pizza bar on the new
The PC, is it fixed?
Super Geeks.
Yeah.
That one, you know, the global exchange rate fluctuation destroyed that business because all our spare parts are paid for in US dollars. You cannot compete with the likes of Saka Tinubu boys and Computer Village boys. They have somebody that buys those things in bulk. They can get the best prices. Everything.
6,000 pieces of phone.
You
I
know,
think they work like a consortium.
they do.
So where you are coming with like $1 million, they're coming with five, 6
No.
million.
The way it works is that there's some guy there that would spend maybe 2 billion at the beginning of the
That's what
month
I'm saying,
to
yeah.
buy these spare parts. He would then take that money, give
channels
it,
it.
channel it down, on credit to all these guys. These guys will rapidly repair phones with these things, channel the money back to the guy. Maybe they can do 2 billion literally in a week. And he will make maybe a small margin, 10% on that. He will channel that money again, make 10% of that.
The guy is almost like a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He is a bank. He's
Probably an Igbo man.
You know, most likely. Then you, on the other hand, you're there in your location in Lekki Phase 1. You bring your crack screen to me. I'm like, I'll have this prepared for you in 1 week. You know, speak out the big English, enter into the ticketing system, you receive your SMS. You feel good the first time. You know, yeah.
But then somebody tells you you're a maga.
My boys, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. There are too many things we don't understand. Like, our phones are actually our maybe top 2 most important appendage. Yeah. You know, if you're a guy, your brain, the phone third.
Yeah.
Easily. You understand what I mean? So top 3, most important appendage. Without your phone, you cannot run your business. So those guys there can repair your phone in 5 minutes. Me, I can repair your phone in 3 days. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So that's how that business went. I had a pizza bar on Oniru Beach. I thought because my friends ate pizza, the whole of Lagos ate pizza. Let's not talk about that one. Then in that place as well, you know, every night. And I saw what they call Gattuso. There was some guy that had one G12 popping, like the way they were popping champagne in that place. I was like, if I can corner 10% of this market,
If you don't build
if I build my own day, I corner 10%, I must make money. You get what I'm saying? For some reason, they will walk past my own to his own. Nobody else have my own. You know, then I now found out that at the end of the night, when all those people have left G12, my own is the last place.
To eat pizza.
So they're not looking for pizza, they're looking for fish. I'm doing pizza. You know, market research, lack of it. So on the way out, they need to drink water because they've been drinking champagne and everything else. My staff now had their own stash of water. They won't sell my own. They have their own stash of water.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're selling the water. And I'm just like, man, these guys. So when I even said I wanted to shut down the place, they were upset. So why do you want to shut down? So I said, okay, I'll keep it open for one more weekend. But meanwhile, these guys are the ones feeding themselves. They're okay for me. I got wise quick, and you know. So after a while, I was just like, you know what? Focus on the payment thing you want to do, focus on this payment thing and just, make it work. And then regulation came out of everywhere. I mean, if I want to talk about it, it would take like a couple of hours. But the most important thing was just consistency. This is what I want to do.
And research.
And research, because I knew it. So there was no point me delving into stuff I didn't know. This one that I know, let me do it properly and do it well. Everything I've been successful at are things that I know to the bone. And, if somebody comes to me, and says, hey, let's do this together, right? I must know enough of it, at least, so that if the person dies, I can continue on my own, maybe not 100% of the time, but no, it's true. So people come to me and they're like, there's this big, and a lot of Nigerian youth get carried away with stuff like that. Someone comes to you, there's one deal, is diesel, 150 million. This. I'm like, man, I don't know diesel. Though. I've never done diesel.
That thing has burnt me.
The numbers sound good. Thank you very much.
50 kobo per barrel. If you take 13,000 metric tons, you make 9 million a week. I'm like, in your dream, you've killed all your enemies and you showed them. You now wake up on the day they say they will pay the money. Say they're not buying.
Because if
you will run.
When you're talking, right?
You don't go to work. You're waiting for oil money.
What I got from what Fred, what I think happened to him was like, at that initial time when you were writing for Bella Niger, you were doing that thing. What's that place close to?
Oh, I do Chef Fred special.
Exactly, and a whole lot of things. So people who could cook now realize that, to go online, open an Instagram page and compete with you. But at that particular point in time, you also have gotten to a level where you have your prize. And so people were saying it's not just rice and beans. So people like instead of buying a plate at 1,005 from you, they'd rather buy it for 650 naira from a other person who also say yes ma to give it to them. So it wasn't like you didn't know what you were doing or you weren't good enough at what you were doing. It was just like there were people who were willing, like even on Instagram, when people come in to say, oh no, but I want to do this social media push. How much do you charge? I'm like, this is how much I charge. They're like, oh, we don't have your rate. We're like, oh, do you want me to give you a phone number for this person who can do it for you as a cheaper rate? Because the thing is like what Lobo was saying, if you've hustled how much we've hustled, you'd be like, when I say twisting up, you're like, oh, are you the guy? I'm doing that. I passed.
I want to know you.
I passed doing that. So we're also looking for like bigger business. We're looking to change the world. Like,
I didn't talk about. I mentioned I got evicted though. Because I'm the guy that will use.
Sorry. The evicted.
I'm the guy that will use my school fees. You know me, Yankee, that time now. I'm the guy that will use my school fees, use my rent money to run an experiment I had no business running, just to take the next milestone. When they evict me, I'll go to my guy's house. I'll be like, this is your couch, looking very comfortable. Alpha, and I'll do that. So when you're talking about like the marriage stuff and the whatever, there are times where, especially in that environment, and God willing, I was at least lucky to be in the States at that time, but there when at that time people are applying for investment banking jobs, they're applying for this, and what do? You're like, I'm trying to just, do a drug to do HIV. Straight away, even my own mom, then she would just, what are you doing? Come back, what? Like HIV care. Come back home.
God forbid.
But at some point, when your mind is like, it's like remote control, this is what I want to do, you start to see things that people don't see. Everything that had happened in the space I'm in right now, I predicted it long before other people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when people come to me and they tell me that, they have for example, this is what they're going to do and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. When I start to ask them questions, you're like, okay, who are you again? I'm like, I'm the guy that has done all the suffering so that you don't have to do it. Let me just give you the map.
Do you feel like a lot of people try to invalidate the hard work that you put into taking this business, growing it, because your dad was at one point a governor?
Right. The funny thing about it was, when my father was a governor, I was in the States. I used to work in Starbucks. I used to work at Club Monaco. There, I sell jeans and stuff. My father cut me off as soon as I finished from school. I'm done. My room, I couldn't even fit a rack of clothes there, just my bed. I found one young guy. I was working on 125th and Broadway, which is the roughest part of New York, or it's one of the roughest parts of New York. Somebody came in there and was like, yeah, you don't sound like a regular black guy. Yeah, man. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I just finished from school. trying to get a job, so I'm just looking for something to survive. The guy was like, so what did you do in school? Electrical computer engineering. I was like, why not give me a call? Gave this guy a call the next day, went to his office, sick ass office, crazy office. This guy did not ask me anything about the job. He just wanted to know me, just, okay, like, just tell me about you. I got that job. My first year I was making $60,000. They moved me from my small place to the front of Central Park. I was the only black guy and the youngest guy in my building. They were paying my rent. They would fly me out to another state every different week. So coming back to Nigeria was going through, not really a rough patch, but I went through a point where, not really a step down. I think I was young and I'd made so much money on my own. So I went very stupid. I did some really stupid things. Drank too much. Came back to Nigeria, okay, yeah, I'm going to try to focus. I got depressed because I was telling my dad, call Glow now. Like, you need my friends, get me a job. My dad basically just laughed at me. I was like, you're actually not ready. So in my depressed phase, I just said, okay, you know what, let me just leave Lagos. So my dad had a farm that was closed. It was owned by Total in the 1980s because you had to put some money you made from oil into farming. But when that road died, most of the people just went. So my dad bought the farm. But my dad now went into politics, became a governor in 2000 and something, I don't remember. And then the farm was closed down for such a long time. But me just looking to run away from Lagos, just went there to try to just get, fresh air. And I mistakenly just threw a seed in the ground, and 3 days after I saw the seed growing there. And that was what just sparked that farm inside of me. So farming for me, I've been doing this for 7, 8 years now. Yeah, like as in, this thing was not easy. Like someone just sees Simply Green. It didn't just pop out from nowhere. Simply Green basically just started 3 years ago. And most people don't understand, which I'm going to share with you guys for the first time. My success has come from pain that I don't wish on anybody. Yeah. Simply Green started, the first day I made my bottle of juice, my first bottle of juice was the day my brother died. That was the first day I made my first bottle of juice. So instead of sitting down and, mopping and crying, I was like, okay, why don't I channel all these things into Simply Green? And Simply Green, as someone said, I thought, okay, it's a business just to feed my friends or just to sell 10 bottles just to survive. But I really don't know what happened. Simply Green just picked up as a business. But before Simply Green picked up, I'll tell you how I started Simply Green. Then I had a bad fallout with my dad. I left the farm. I was living in a BQ of one of his property, which he didn't know I was living there. He told me to buy some stuff for him with his card. So I stole £300 from the card to buy a small press. So I used to cut the fruits tiny to feed it into the press. I used to work from like maybe 11 p.m. in the morning to probably like 5 a.m. in the morning. 6 o'clock, put it in my trunk. Yeah, that's my black car. Put it in my trunk, drive around VI, Lekki, Ikoyi, because if you're going on a client's program, you have to get your juice before 9. So traffic after just juicing, no sleep, driving around to customers. I did this for like 2 months until when I broke down. And my dad was like, come, what are you even doing? You are making juice. There's Five Alive, there's Chivita, Dancer. You can't compete. I said, Dad, it's not the same thing. My dad basically thought it was a waste of time. Until when I broke down, when I'd worked too much, because I used to get maximum a day, 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep, maximum. Then my mom and my girlfriend, who's so amazing, she told me that, you know what, check in the bank account, see what you have. And I found that I had money to actually get another stuff and get a bike. So so all that going around, driving around to drop off juices, stop.
Research.
Yeah. And now, this whole farming thing, people started seeing me. It's just been like 1 year that I've put myself out there. People don't know where it started from. It started from me losing my mom a year ago. And I was fighting for my life. I was on a wheelchair for 6-7 months. So someone just sees that, oh, yeah, his father was governor. This doesn't have to do with my father. It doesn't have to do with anybody. It has to do with the things I've been through as a person, the pain I've been through to actually go from step 1 to step. But if you go through pain, and you can't just sit down and just feel bad. Do something that would make you not think about it. And mine was, I always told myself at the age of 50, 60, I want to just retire on my farm on a rocking chair, seeing cows moving around. But I thought about it, okay, what do I want for myself? I want these things at the age of 50, 60. Why not start doing it now? So passion really pushed me to keep doing what I was doing. I didn't know anything about farming. I didn't know anything. I researched, read a lot of books. I used to travel out of the country to go and work on farms for free so I could learn things and come back and do those things. So people think, okay, yeah, Shola is fortunate. Yes, I come from a good family. I have people that's pushed me to do. But and in my family, we don't say because you are a child of you must work for your money. But in that whole process, when I was doing everything, nobody actually believed Shola could do with these things. Shola was a New York boy, city boy. How can he come here and now go to the village? But I stayed in the farm for 4 years. I used to come back to see someone I was with at that point. I used to come back on weekends. You know, I had one crazy car, one blue Nissan Sunny. That car was a farm car, travel car, everything. Come back to Lagos, you know, then stay for like Friday, Saturday, go back on Sunday. So this whole thing, 7 years. For 4 years, I didn't make 1 naira. I lost every single thing. I thought that was the end. That was when I had to follow my dad. I locked myself in a big queue. But I just told myself, man, you can't just sit down there, Shola. You are bigger than this.
Wow.
Get up.
I'm drinking
So-
green
So, you know,
support your
like,
market.
so like most people don't know the story. People just think Shola is a funky farmer. And me, I'm not really into this whole TV, magazine stuff. When this whole thing started was someone called Peace. She works for Forbes. She called me and was like, oh, Shola, yeah, I want to put you in Forbes magazine. I was like, it's a prank. I mean, come on. But they kept calling me and I was like, you guys are serious. So then my friend Ronke was like, Shola, you have a story to share. I mean, you're a farmer, like we don't find people like you. I mean, farming, you know. So Ronke was the person that actually told me, now, Shola, why don't you try to put yourself out there? Which to me is more than I would do. I'm not really that spotlight person. I'm more stay on my farm. Someone else can run the whole business side and fun side of it. Mine was just to be a farmer, man. Mine was just be on my farm, grow my crops, and yeah.
I like Shola's story kind of made us so. Yeah. So I want to talk about what I want to talk about with Tola was like, it feels good that some of us are here not saying, oh, nobody with this thing, but really, guys, 360 noobs and whatnot. But before 360 noobs, Storm was in the building, and let me before Tola gets to talk, right? So, for some of us who were in Storm, it was good.
It was very stormy.
Yeah.
Stormy.
Like it was
very
it was
stormy.
good. Like, you know, we had the Igbo boy T-shirt was even Igbo spelled IBO, but it didn't matter. For some of us, like it was the only, it was the closest. Yeah, it was the closest.
Igbo boy.
Yeah, Igbo boy is supposed to like IGBO, but they spelled it like IBO. Yeah, even though Obiasaka is still there, side eye, but it didn't really matter because some of us just wanted to identify with something. Like when anybody enters, like listen, before people can say all these things, like Kenny Big Deal, they had so many songs that were like P became anything what it to be. Even to today. Even today can say
What's your P?
Yeah, what's the P? So like I like to know about like the storm. I would like to know about the storm movement, like about the
Storm movement.
I know what happened to Storm.
That was off camera, but I mean, in terms of the storm movement.
Please put it on camera.
I did not ask Chevron.
Nothing because
Why do you guys get on?
No, I think because they have some Lego, like for Storm, like break up, the directors have some Lego, so I think that's what he wants to keep on camera.
Okay, let's keep it off camera.
Okay, in terms of, I mean, at the time I was driving like the whole Storm brand. I was young. I was a young, cool kid with friends like Kemi, Adetiba. Kitty Big Deal. Kitty Big Deal really is how we used to greet ourselves. So instead of saying what's up, like Kitty, what's the big deal? Kitty Big Deal. So a lot of that was influencing the artists that we signed because they were now being sucked into this lifestyle. If you hear some of the early songs, you see Neto rapping about Bacchus and all this, because we were literally influencing them. And because they were like so popular at that time, they were basically selling a new lifestyle that had not been projected in that Nigerian space at that time. So for the first time, Nigerian music was cool. So they were the drivers,
you know, of that. And
When
obviously,
your videos, man.
Even the videos.
so I mean,
No, just the Reassessing first video with the whole styling, the lights. I was like,
so at
it
that
was like
point,
Matrix.
it
You
was,
know, Matrix came and
it
changed everything
was.
for movies for us.
It was.
Reassessing's video for Kemi tended to just make the industry take out their shades and like,
So that's the direction.
yeah.
But what you guys were basically seeing was you guys were seeing
Lights.
a reflection of the cool guys are now in the game.
That's it.
Do you understand? So that was what. So the projection was so advanced. It was so superior to every other thing that was around. So for once, you know, the Nigerian youths were happy to be. It was inspiring. I think that was what it was. So everybody wanted to be cool. I remember when we started those T-shirts. You know, we'll do T-shirts because then don't forget there was a time where Nigerian music was not played in the clubs. Now one of the things I even have to give Obi Asika a lot of props for is I remember the first time we tried to introduce music into the clubs. As in, I'm telling you that in Nigerian clubs, this one that you go to the clubs now, you hear music about 90% versus forward. Then it was like 95%, and maybe if, in fact, there was almost nothing. So one of the guys we partnered with was Ahmed, who owned 1145. 1145 was like one of the most popular clubs.
Of course it was.
So then we used to say, you know, Ahmed, you know what? Let us do this thing and just showcase Nigerian music, you know. And the funniest thing was that we'll start the event at 7, the club will be empty. So 12 is when we're switching to international music. The club will be rammed. So it was like, we're even wasting our money to try to do this thing so that, you know, people will start. Because then we had everybody from, you know, the band was upcoming. Everybody was upcoming.
The band was Storm?
No. The band,
It was the same time.
they were all part of the movement.
Yeah, 'cause Storm was
You have to
the
understand,
bass,
Storm was like the bass.
Yes.
Who was the bass. Everybody somehow, everybody who was relevant at that time
everybody needed
came
somebody
through.
to do the bass.
Everybody needed, you know, the partnership. So then we used to spend 500K every month on those shows. As of that time, this is about 12 years ago. Because I remember I'm the one that used to sign the checkbook, and I'll be like, Obi, are you sure? Do you understand? I'll be like, just pay. So it was getting, you know, so I now started getting, so what I now started doing was tapping into my network as well in terms of, okay, let me get all them. So we did something with Noble last week, where Noble take this T-shirt, I better come for this event. Start getting all the tastemakers, you know, that you guys, you know, there's this Nigerian music that's emerging, you guys support. So started getting them small by small. Some people dash them T-shirts, this, that. So people started coming. So when people started coming, they started experiencing some of these people. One of the people they experienced then was aHRZ, who was upcoming. We saw aHRZ, we knew aHRZ was a fantastic artist from day one, but nobody knew about this girl. I remember, then it got to a point where everybody wanted to be on this same show that was empty. By the time we got to like month 7, now everybody is begging. I want to perform on the island, because then the island was like, you're not performing in motherland, you're performing on the island. Once you enter island, you don't hammer.
Don't blow.
So it was a struggle in terms of getting the music out, but as you guys can see now.
Now you've been very.
So just to tap into what you were saying, because what I got was, okay, everybody was doing music. You had the labels doing music, but what
there were no labels per se then.
Yeah, but the people, I mean, it's not like you guys didn't reinvent music, but what you guys did was reinvent the lifestyle. So what you guys did was you infused music. Because I remember that it's so weird that, like when they say storm, the storm is coming. Like that was like the storm.
Storm in the, like, you know what?
Storm in the building.
Storm in the building. Yeah.
Storm in the building.
Nobody's like, you don't understand.
Storm in the building.
When I say don't get it.
But that's exactly
You clear road, as they come, everybody just.
It was a case of now, you know, making this whole movement cool. Just making it aspirational for everybody. So if you were not part of it, you felt
Left out.
So that was.
Even for some of us who are Igbo boys, like Ikechukwu's album launch, he first came out with Isiago, and that was like for us Igbo boys, that was like a big.
Yeah, it was a personal thing.
You know, it was a big deal for us. So like, you know, I kind of listen to Nigerian music, and I find that there's a lot of slangs that get into our lifestyle. But Neto did have Neto did set the pace for a whole lot of people, especially for some of us who probably experience Nigerian music a lot more when Nigerian music became cool, when Nigerian music became.
He started the genre of what I call catchphrase music. You get what I'm saying? Where you can pick out one thing and you just repeat it. You understand? And a lot of people have started doing that, in their music.
No, it's Lamba. I was thinking to myself, like I said, this foreign guy, and this one was like, no, the guy's Nigerian. I said, chill now.
Yeah.
It was a shock. I was like, wow, and since then I've seen things change. I've not seen people.
The plan for that project was very precise. It was crafted and designed for a specific response.
Wait,
And I
so
think-
now we're getting into something else, which is business side of it.
Marketing.
So you had a plan. So is there a way you could share that plan? Like, what do you guys do?
That's
How do you guys-
let me just to buttress what I said. Wait, this is your plan. No, because sometimes you don't know that you have a plan until the plan comes together. I want to know if it was
Drafted from the start.
like, did you say
This is what you want to do.
step 1 we have to do this, step 2 we have to do that, or did you just have a vision and every day we are running helter skelter
Towards
until
the vision.
until the vision
I
came
love
alive?
that helter skelter.
No, there's a lot of
But a lot of us
helter
work that way,
Yeah.
That's why I say I like it.
It's not good to work like that. You
It's not
stress
structure.
yourself out.
But-
Follow that structure.
But
man.
yes, so was it structured?
Now, in terms, was it structured?
Because if
Yes.
it was,
Now,
They will answer
wait. Was it structured? Yes, because I mean there was a business. Most people think Storm Records was the business. Storm was a 360 company. The record label basically was the brand that everybody knew because it was a street brand. So, for example, even the gate man knows Storm Records, blah blah blah. But the core of the business was from production, TV, and all that. So that's where the money was really coming from. Now, in terms of the music, and for the first time we had, I was extremely, don't forget this was about 13 years ago. I'm still a young guy. So I'm a young guy running this thing with free hand to express myself. And don't forget, I was a cool kid. So, so the key thing was I had a platform to express myself. And being someone who was extremely knowledgeable of what is hot, it was easy to sort of infuse a lot of that into the culture, into the music, into the look, the feel, and all that. So for me, it was an expression that, okay, you know what, for once, we can do what we want and we can express ourselves. So if you notice, like, with the way we were expressing ourselves, we were expressing what was hot. And the thing about what is hot is undeniable. So you notice that every single artist that was affiliated to Storm, even from the band to everybody who sort of came across and who came around us, it was something they were attracted to. So it wasn't a case of, we had the opportunity to sign the band on aHRZ. They had a meeting with Obi. Obi said, I had a meeting with Tola. They said, I had a meeting with me, and they said, you know what, halfway in between the meeting, we were like, wait, why are you recording Obi's meeting? Because you are saying exactly everything he said verbatim. And what would you tell them? Say, you know what, you guys are hot. We sign you now, we're going to give you peanuts. 2 of you guys start your own. Do you understand? That's how, and they will tell you that,
You did.
they will tell you the same, because what they wanted was 1 million naira. Then it's like, can't give you 1 million, is nothing, but you guys are hot enough. And they had so many soldiers behind them. They had Ebony, who was one day called, and his first song was on a Storm record as well.
Wow.
Because at that point, you know, they didn't even see him as an artist. So we were there looking at this guy singing like Akon in the background. I'm like, ha, this Ebony guy, he's bad. I beg, borrow me for 1 week. So he jumped on one of our records, and they heard you like, okay,
we come
back as so and so. So yes, the albums that we put out then, they were precise. And I won't lie, there was a lot of influence because Obi was very culture. Me, I was very what is hot and what's cool. So it was, we used to struggle then and argue that you need to infuse it. But I was always like, let these people express themselves the way they would. But it was also very good that at least we were able to put a lot of the culture, because that was what made it, you know, authentic Nigerian. Because, you know, you can't just be there rapping like an American guy and all
But
that.
goes back to the question. Was there actually a plan? Did you follow
That's what I'm getting to. In terms of the delivery, now if you look at from the styling, I don't know if you have like pictures you can run on screen and stuff. If you see even from the designs of the album and all that, they're precise programming that we were trying to push into the space. Because don't forget, we were coming from a lot of exposure and we understood how the West did this thing. But the thing is that the Nigerian music wasn't Those tools were not being used, and we had a movement. So it was like, okay, if we have this movement, the truth is, everybody wants to look fly. These guys have to look a certain way. So the imagery was very important to us, like how they look. If you see like our videos, then we'll spend a lot of money on the videos to get a certain look, because these are things that when you see it, you want to be affiliated, you want to look like this guy. So we were thinking of creating stars. And don't forget, even when you go back to even our contracts, it was the first time that we were signing people not to make money from the music, but to make money from the brands. So we were creating brands. Like a lot of people then used to, fight us like, Sasha doesn't have a lot of music, but guess what? Sasha got the most endorsements at that time, because it was beyond the music. It was about creating this thing that is bigger than life.
We don't know how you started off in the business. I remember what you were saying off camera, when you guys were all joking and messing about. You said you actually used to be an usher for one of
Yes.
For
Virgin Activision.
We need a picture. So you used to
the guys wear tight shirts.
You used to be an usher
Muscle
for
man.
Noble.
I'm getting
It was what? Okay, so Virgin had a couple of activations during that period, and myself and my younger sister, actually, who's married now with 3 kids, would wear their uniform and stand and usher people in, and like we do at events, ushering job. We share pay 10K, 8,000 naira a day, but it was good compared to what other people were getting. Ushering was like the second. Modeling and ushering was pretty much what I started with. Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of people I noticed, well, maybe I just seem to wake up. I noticed that a lot of times it was just a waste of time. You go there, you model, they pay you after maybe 8 months, 9 months inside agencies.
This guy dropping the names.
Man, shit, I say it outright. I'm sorry, we're saying it outright.
Some of these people are still paying us too.
But I'll say this, with evolution, these companies, like we all know, are becoming archaic. I'm sorry. But if with big Coca-Cola companies, Pepsi would rather, instead of spending huge budgets on marketing and creating this, they can get one boy online who will just drop one thing and get 6 million views. This is where they're spending their money. And that's the thing, everything is going digital, everything is going online.
There's a lot of disruption.
Yes, a lot. And that is where Domination comes in, even for my business. We have seen, when I started, obviously, ushering jobs, modeling, a lot of people did the same thing that I was doing and probably continued and transitioned into movies. A lot of people who were on my sets were probably movie people now, or the new faces in movies, so-called fine boys. But beauty really doesn't feed or puts. It's not a long-term process. It's not something that will.
I get you likes.
What's that?
Good looking. He's a good-looking guy. Oh, he looks good. It doesn't put.
Doesn't help.
No. So what happens? I'll tell you.
Funny boy is a different.
I'll tell you because it sells you short. A lot of people just see you as nothing but, and that's the thing. A lot of us, well, I will speak for myself. For me, it's always been about creating. It's always about being on top, being the next level. What's going on? How do we set something for people to follow? And I will tell you how this has happened, because a lot of people who are entrepreneurs are very successful tend to be loners. We don't have a lot of friends. Our circles are very tight. We don't have, as much as everybody knows us, we still probably just have only one person if you're sick to call. You don't have all these people that are just nothing but numbers. And I had only one friend who I have been friends for 15 years with, and he went to school in London and in Luton, and he came back when he graduated. And I was running somebody's business at that point, someone's club at that point in time. And as a PR person, whatever you sell, you get 10%, 15%. So money was easy. There's a difference between running a business and running all those side deals. It's when you start getting salaries, my brother, it was shocking. I thought, you think when you become a boss, you eat more. You eat less.
And you sleep less.
And you sleep less. And these people and your staff, when you give them the heat, they feel like as if you're wicked.
Exactly. Which work is it?
And they believe that you are packing all the money.
Yeah. They only deal with...
Let me say, as an entrepreneur, your staff make more money than you do.
I think so.
I think everybody should know this. Your staff makes more money than you, who they look up to.
Your staff look at your gross.
Exactly. They
But
actually
nobody tell your expenses. Nobody sees the backlash, the bad time, the recession, and all that
I
stuff.
think even when they see, they really don't care.
No, like as in someone tell me, oh yeah, you're actually selling one bag of kale for 1,000. And I'm thinking to myself that, wait till, first of all, I have to buy fuel to till my soil.
Ha.
On a normal day on my farm, I probably go through about 300 liters of diesel on a normal day. But now when I'm now running full scale, I'm looking at 450 liters a day. Now, now, if you're looking at it now, I think it's at 200 naira for a liter.
Have you put in solar?
Wait now, I'm just so they actually don't see how much money is being spent. Or someone is telling me, Simply Green is 1K. And I say, okay, everything is 1K. Now let me tell you how it's 1K. I'll buy the fuel. Wait now, to till my soil. Plant, wait for 3 months, maintain these crops, and weed every single time. My farm is 3 hours away. I have a coal truck that brings it down to Lagos. I have to bribe on the road. It will spawn on the road. You have to fix tire. Fix
Sorry,
this
he
one.
doesn't bribe.
Not bribe me, sorry.
We pay maintenance.
Then you bring it.
Maintenance fee for the road.
So then you bring it down to Lagos. You have to store it in a cold room. You don't have to process. You don't have to buy bottles. You have to buy labels. You have to buy like the covers. You don't have to take it to the customers. So when someone is telling me 1K is expensive, I'm thinking to myself that, do you people know how much money I've actually spent to get to this place?
And that's the thing about everybody just wanting to see end product and the story behind it. Nobody's interested.
Exactly.
In. Nobody's really interested in it. So, like I was saying before, everybody seems to understand that as an entrepreneur, it gets very lonely at the top.
Yeah.
It gets very lonely, and with the kind of scandals and things that go out these days, we have to be very careful because the internet makes it very easy for you to be on top and bring you down by tomorrow morning. You might not even be part of the main story. Someone will just say, "Don't you know?" And the story from where it started changes to your story.
Exactly.
So we have to be very careful, and that goes with having to keep your circle very tight and very few people. And this best friend of mine, who is my business partner, came back from school and saw what I was doing. Like, you guys, you're making so much money. How are you doing this? I said, okay, look, this is club business. This is what. I go, wow. And this person is an only son of his mother, and his mother really, really wanted to invest in whatever he said he wanted to do, and blah blah blah. And I took a loan for 790 million.
Wait, what?
790.
Million.
There are 2 buildings. One is in Port Harcourt, is in GRA, Woji, where we have the South African embassy, Rough and Tumble, and a couple of other stores. Then obviously Escape.
Wait, please. 790 what?
Million.
No, I'll just make sure. Because
No, I'll tell you.
$2 million.
790. And I was given 5 years to pay back. I paid in 2.
Please.
300 mansion.
So I'll tell you this. I didn't own Escape until last year. And that was when recession.
You own Escape?
Yes.
Wow.
And that was when recession hit this country. So when Escape started, it was a big boom. We're making, but luckily for me, my partner and I are not into lifestyle. We're not into living or buying expensive clothes or all that stuff. It was pretty much pay salary, supply, and bank. Yeah. And we did nothing else. And that was what we did. We were just paying, and we finished it on time. And this happened just before, obviously, this bank started changing, restructuring, and my friend's mom was out of the way. But my story is one of opportunity and timing. A lot of people pray. I'm not a very religious person. I'll say this to you straight up. There's a God. We know everything else. I believe more importantly in good and bad.
You're following me to church on Wednesday, by the way.
No problem. I will go. I don't have a problem. But I live strongly on very simple principles. Good and bad. We know what bad is. We know what good is. Be good to other people. People will be good to you. Even though it doesn't really apply. But be good as much as you can. In fact, every single day you can be good. Be good. It will always come back. It might not come back immediately, but it comes back in the long run. And even if I have opened a lot of businesses after that, my partner owns 50%, even if he doesn't know anything about it. My parents will tell me that I'm making a big mistake. She the money people borrowed, you've paid. She the money. Why are you doing businesses and bringing him in? But loyalty is something that has died
in Nigeria.
In this society. I take it very, 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 very seriously. I will never forget someone, because when I even told my father how much I was borrowing, his man has never seen that money in his life. The man told me, hey, this is how this boy went to jail. Bank will carry you.
To be honest,
you're finished. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. How will you?
Balls.
Yeah, but that's the thing about life. I saw it, and this is the thing. This is the thing. You look at research, you look at the entire platform, you look at what everybody is doing. Everybody is doing the same thing. What do we do next? You have to create an experience.
Yeah,
And that's something that we all have in common. Even for you, it was about seeing what was lacking and creating it. And that's the difference between art and marketing. Everybody seen syrup. Okay, so I would say the difference between art and marketing. Art is created out of just plain passion. Okay, I'm very passionate, I will make this thing. Our marketing, on the other hand, is you look at the market, look at everybody, and you create something. Art, on your hand, makes amazing stuff, but it doesn't make any money. Marketing, on the other hand, creates shit, but makes a shit ton of money, but it's rubbish. And that's the thing. But marketing is where we are now. We looked at the market and said, okay, look, there's no club that has proper lights. Everybody's still doing ambience lights on the wall. We need to put in moving heads. We need to put in flame busters. We need to let people just have, when you come, you feel that energy, and boom. I said, okay, fine. This is what we should do. And that was why I took that. Because I said, if we take this, we will own this market for a while before anybody comes back into it.
Everybody will play catch up.
And we did that, and everybody played catch up.
Fantastic.
And at some point, well, now it has gotten to that level where everything is going, everybody's doing pretty much, people are opening clubs and things are changing.
On the same streets.
Yeah, even on the same streets. But
They're
with what,
saying that,
yeah. But the thing is, let me say this. People believe in competition. I don't believe in competition. I believe competition is created by the individual himself. If I believe you're my competition, automatically you become my competition. It doesn't exist unless you want it to. It is my mindset that makes me number one. If I focus on this is what I want to do, as soon as I stop to look and see what you're doing, I lose focus. And that makes me second feet. That puts me behind you.
Yeah.
I don't look at anybody. I don't believe in competition. I believe in domination on the other hand. I believe in owning my industry. And that is why we are actually evolving into things like tech. We're going to launch on 2nd December, but we're coming out with our own app. It's not just for us. But we're going to use Escape as a new platform where we're trying to see how e-life can now change the business. And this goes from partnering with... and this goes changing from... So we're even going on South African Stock Exchange, interviews with CNN, CNBC. And tech firms are actually coming in to discuss this new thing that we're trying to do. We're opening in 7 different countries. We're opening offices. We're no longer building clubs. And Escape is going online. By 2019, we'll shut the building down. But the plan is to be in every single nightclub in Africa, at least a total of 71.
To make it an experiential.
Yeah, and it's called e-life. It's not about, what we do is we pretty much drive traffic. It's data. But we want to say, okay, look, e-life is in 71 different clubs in Africa. We can't expand to, obviously, Europe or America, because by the time you get there, competition is going to hit you and chase you back. But we can own Africa. We can own Africa easy. Because as a Nigerian, you have a platform. I don't know if anybody says this. Anybody who wants to leave any African country to go to London. Okay, from Nigeria is London, Dubai. No, London, SA, Dubai, Yankee. That's the step out. For every African country, if you don't enter Niger, you cannot go to Dubai. And that gives us the platform to pretty much not intimidate, but people look up to Nigeria a lot in terms of productivity. What we create is what every African country follows. So it's very easy to dominate and own this market. We're not looking to compete. We want people to build clubs on the same streets. But we want to come to you and say, look, we can give you this service. And the research that we are now going to have to do is not going to be research anymore because it's now built on experience.
How important is social media to an entrepreneur right now in 2017?
Well,
Does it make a big deal?
yeah.